Great to be here, of course, in Dubai, and thanks for the kind invitation to speak at the Knowledge Summit. I must say, first of all, as a doctor, we've been so impressed with the way that UAE has handled the pandemic over the last 2 years. It's been difficult for all of us. I mean, the title, of course, is Protecting Humanity and the Pandemic. I think UAE have done a great job in that fold. I'm going to spend the next hour talking to you about innovation, technology, education, disruption, and where that future might lie as a way of opening up your minds to imagine a world and society that may develop from this pandemic. What we've seen during the pandemic is an acceleration of ideas. Prior to the pandemic, there was little disruption. We're now seeing innovation happen at pace, particularly in healthcare, but also now in education. We've been remote for 2 years, thinking of new ways of teaching our students, learning ourselves, whether it's a Zoom platform, Microsoft Teams. We have to learn, relearn how we teach and educate people around the world using connectivity. So, with that in mind, of course, I'm going to now spend a little bit of time talking about this kind of vision around the Metaverse and Web 3.0 with new terminologies. It's like a new language of innovation in education. We have to think about hybrid models. No longer are we going to go back just to face-to-face. The world will demand change with hybrid models of learning, including teaching in the digital world. So what we're going to talk about in a moment, I'm going to actually spend some time in the physical world and some time in the digital world. This will be a combination talk. In a moment, I'm going to go around backstage with my headset and connect with colleagues in that digital world. What we're seeing now with this concept of the metaverse is a seamless transition from here, physically, to going in the digital world with an avatar, with a hologram, connecting people, and perhaps overcome some issues around climate change, not traveling anymore to remote areas to teach people. So it's about democratization. It's scaling education at a huge level. So now, join me as I now go behind stage and enter the metaverse and give a lecture from the metaverse. I'll come back again as my digital self and speak to you again in real life, of course, here in Dubai. So just give me a moment. Hello everyone, and now we've been transformed and transported into the metaverse. This is what it looks like, a virtual world that's created to represent a new society, a new way of working. As you can see here, we've got the university hospital that provides services going forward. Let's go to look around this beautiful world that we're creating that depicts natural environment, that allows us to reimagine how we would work in this environment. And here, of course, is the Metaversity, where we'll be able to teach as teachers and learn as we're students. Now, first of all, to show us this world in much more detail, I'm going to introduce and welcome my dear colleague, Dr. Michael Kaudash. Hi, Michael. Thanks for joining me. Can you tell the audience here in Dubai at the Knowledge Summit a bit about yourself, your background, and also where you are joining me from?
Hello, Professor Shafi. Thank you so much for joining me here in Ahmed's Health World. I'm Michael, the CEO and founder of Ahmed's, and I have created together with my colleagues Ahmed's Health World, an interactive 3D world where people come together, patients can meet doctors, hospitals and caregivers can get in touch with patients and offer the services and support to patients all around the world.
Incredible. You're revolutionizing and reimagining the world of healthcare. So where are you at the moment, Michael?
Yeah, so I'm actually located in the Netherlands in Amsterdam. Okay, Professor Shafi, so let me take you on a little tour here through our facilities and show you a little bit around.
Wonderful. Michael, this looks gorgeous. Tell me more about this space that you created.
So here you see the entry hall of the virtual university hospital that we've created for one of our partners. And it's the first thing that you see when you enter the hospital. You can take a little bit a look around and can decide where to go and what to do. Okay, at first let's go to the reception and let's take a look at what we can do. So at the reception, you first get in touch with one of our Amedes virtual assistants that will guide you through the institution and will help you on your journey through the Amedes healthcare world.
Where should we go next?
So first, let's go to the theater, to the university theater, and take a look at the possibilities about learning and education. So here you see our university theater where a lot of people can attend and follow lectures from all over the world.
Great, let's have a look around this great space. Wonderful, so you've got students here already, and I can imagine lots of people being in this space to learn from the world-class teachers from various parts of our world, but of course being taught virtually.
Exactly. Okay, let me now show you our world and our vision.
Welcome to Amedes Health World, the world's first medical metaverse, offering unlimited possibilities for doctors, patients, caregivers, and the healthcare industry around the world. Patients can get therapies, consultation, education, and social interaction through the power of virtual reality, anywhere in the world, at any time, on all of their devices. Our virtual hospital chain will incorporate a wide range of services and experiences that seamlessly connect patients to healthcare professionals, as it will be easy as turning on their phone from the comfort of their home to connect to a healthcare professional in another corner of the world.
Well, that was an amazing video. Thanks for sharing your vision and that world you're building for all of us here in Dubai. What we do next, Michael?
It's a pleasure, Professor. So let's now take a look at the other facilities that we can find inside this virtual university clinic.
Sure, take me through this.
Let's go.
Great, so we're now back in the foyer, and now we're going to be hopefully seeing some other rooms, for example. So, Michael, where are we heading towards?
Absolutely. We now will see some of the examination rooms.
Okay, what's the first one?
So the first one's over here. Please follow me.
Yeah, let's follow you. Let's just walk around. Come on, let's go.
So this is one of the spacious consultation rooms. We find all the possibilities to talk to patients, to their families, and to discuss issues and etc.
And this could be used for MDTs, because there's a lot of desk space, could be office space, as well as sometimes breaking bad news or other communication things, for example, in this space, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So where are we going next, Michael?
So let's now go to some examination rooms for doctors and for medical examinations. Please follow me.
Okay. As you can see now, we're wandering through the foyer again, finding a new room, and here we are. This is the examination room.
Yeah.
So let's go in there, Michael.
So here are two examination rooms. Let's go into examination room 2 for now.
I love the way you designed this, Michael. It feels like a real clinical space, for example, yeah?
Exactly. We wanted to keep it as real as possible to really give that feeling of a hospital, right?
Yeah.
Without losing the connection to reality, but in a good-looking way.
Yeah, so here we could examine patients, for example. There's the eye examination charts and various instruments. And actually, I've just noticed a lovely machine there in terms of your portable ultrasound, for example. And then what about your desk over there? It looks rather interesting. Should we have a look at that?
Yeah, so we have a desk over there where you can take a look at the patient's medical records. The records that, for example, are stored inside the Amedes ecosystem.
Okay, so this is where you could capture data. Can we have just look at your computer screen a little bit? Let's just go in a bit further. just over there. So look, so we can have maybe real computers, real interfaces built into that virtual world, capturing electronic health data, for example, and maybe looking at it in a real-time interface.
Absolutely, and you get also the possibility to stream data from IoT devices directly into this world by using these large screens, so you can discuss findings interactively with a patient.
Great, excellent. So where next?
So next, let's take a look at some of the theaters, the surgery theater, the MRI, and the cath lab that we have on the first floor.
As a surgeon, I'll be really looking forward to seeing how we can maybe operate in the virtual world in the future. But let's look at this space in more detail.
Great, it's a pleasure to show you.
So now we're going up the stairs. This is great, actually, walking up the stairs in a virtual environment. Let's go up here. That's right, and I can join Michael on top of the stairs. And there should be some more rooms here, Michael. Show me what's up here.
So please follow me to the MRI room now.
Of course. So great, this is an MRI room. Oh, look, amazing. It looks like an MRI room.
It is actually a real MRI where you not only can learn about how radiologic departments or radiologic machines work, but you can also do interactive trainings where, for example, when you're afraid to go into an MRI and you're suffering from claustrophobia, you can put on your VR glasses, you can lay yourself into an MRI to learn all about these conditions and to get used to it. For example, when you have a real examination upcoming, to reduce your stress level and to reduce your anxiety.
That sounds very helpful and perhaps a real use case for this metaverse healthcare system, if you like. And what's next door, Michael?
So let's now go to the surgery theater. Here we have a room where the patient is prepared for a surgery. Please follow me directly to the surgery theater. Here you can learn all about surgery. You can understand how these techniques work, what is happening to you when you get a surgery. It also reduces stress, it also reduces anxiety, and makes you feel safer when going into the real examination and the real procedure.
So I can see from a patient's perspective, this allows familiarity and perhaps understanding, reducing the stress levels so that they acquire more knowledge about their case and what they might be going through when they enter hospital. So I'm following you now. So we're going off to the pathology museum and an education centre. Let's have a look. Just here, I'm teleporting myself, following Michael here. This helps with motion sickness. A lot of people have commented on motion sickness in VR, but actually it can be overcome by using the technologies like teleporting or moving a different way to allow less nausea and less kind of motion sickness. So here we are now, moving effortlessly and seamlessly through this new kind of rooms that we created. And here we are now in the Path lab and museum. So what have we got here? We've got lots of parts and organs of the body, right?
That's exactly true. So we can find everything you need in this room. You can do pathological examinations. You can take a look at 3D organs and probes, which is quite new because up to now you're bound to real tissue or to a book, which is in 2D. But now you can take a look at these organs and all these structures in 3D and learn exactly and understand how this is working.
And that's the advantage, having 3D assets or objects that you can manipulate, see in real life, etc., perhaps dissect. Let's go and see where the students are at the moment. Let's go and see what they're doing. So here are the students being taught remotely. And they can be taught remotely from anywhere in the world with an instructor or have what's called a multi-disciplinary team meeting with experts that will share their knowledge about patient care. So as you can see, this is one of the examples where this virtual learning and training might be very useful.
Exactly. Remember when we were students, when we were medical students, Shafi, and we took a look at anatomy books and had to understand how the liver is structured, how a heart is working. Now you have the possibility to see it in 3D and actually touch it, right? And to understand this from all angles.
Wonderful. Let's just go and have a look around a bit further. Let's see what else is there around this room. There's skeletons, there's anatomy dissections, and there's all sorts of manner of things that we can go to. So let's just go around the room slightly and have a look around. Okay, as you can see, this is a great space to be in. And let's just go to that skeleton over the right-hand side over there, on the right-hand side. The other side, if we go, just turn around a little bit and go to the skeleton. There we are, and look, here we are. So we could teach some live anatomy, for example, using skeletons and things, and also demonstrating clinical and physical science for our trainees and medical students. Wonderful. So where are we going next?
Okay, Professor, I hope you liked the tour through the hospital. I will take you now to the main hall so you can meet with Andy and go to Metaversity.
Thank you so much for showing me around, not only just me, but the audience here at the Knowledge Summit and the people watching live around the world at this Knowledge Summit of 2022.
Thank you so much. That was just a short glimpse of what you can do inside Ahmed's Health World. This will be expanded bit by bit, and you will have endless possibilities. We invite the audience to participate in building this unique world. So after the show, you can get in touch with us to learn more about the possibilities in participating, getting a piece of land inside Ahmed's Health World, and support us in building a great future healthcare. Thank you so much.
So now we've had a great look at the hospital of the future in the metaverse and how we're building a healthcare city. We're now going to look at education and go and meet my colleague, Dr. Andy Kumar, to talk about the Metaversity. And welcome. This is the Knowledge Summit with a big audience next to you. Tell us a bit about yourself and where you're from at the moment.
Hey, Professor Shafi. My name's Dr. Andy Kumar. I'm a pediatric cardiac surgeon out in Toronto, Ontario. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to plug in from Toronto to attend this conference and to share a little bit about Metaversity. I'm really looking forward to it and to potentially inaugurate our lecture hall with the Knowledge Summit lecture. So thank you so much for that.
So why don't you take me to the Metaversity and let's talk about your vision, the ambition that we have in building this amazing concept for people around the world.
Sounds good. Let's go ahead and do that.
So thanks, Andy. Well, this looks like the entrance of the Metaversity. Tell me about how you designed this.
Yeah, so this is our Metaversity main lobby. This is our first campus at the moment. So as you can see behind me, there's our registration desk. And if you slowly move towards your right, you'll see our hologram. Here we plan to put the daily calendar and courses students can register so they get an idea of the courses Metaversity were to offer. To the left, you'll see the area where people can socialize slowly with the students, whether students want to speak to teachers or students just want to socialize. And then on the right, you see the theater and our classrooms. So Shafi, why don't I take you to the back to our classroom first so you can see what our space is like.
Okay, great. Let's have a look.
So Shafi, this is our classroom. It's a small, intimate space that students can attend lectures. To the left, we have our big screen. And if we slowly move to it, I think we have an interesting video we'd like to play.
Great. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Shafi.
So the HoloLens itself really allows us to reshape the way we connect people, we communicate with people, and also to be used in teaching and training. Initially, when you put the HoloLens on, it feels a bit strange, but actually within a few minutes, it becomes quite normal. You feel as though you're just discussing cases with people in the same room, for example, like we do in normal hospital practice.
We can come in and actually look at this content in full 3D. And obviously when you're working in this case, the medical field, having a full 3D understanding of a situation, for example, is really much more powerful in solidifying how you want to navigate it in your mind.
The pace of change is remarkable. Technology is really shaping and changing the way we provide healthcare very quickly. So there's a great video of an example of how we're going to be collaborating remotely. And we've seen, of course, Andy, the last couple of years with the pandemic, that of course, people are using Zoom platforms, online platforms, and I guess this is where these kind of technologies add a real value. What are your thoughts about the value of a Metaversity?
Yeah, as you can see, the small intimate lecture hall is catered towards giving students direct access to their professors in a space that's comfortable, intimate. And we kind of want students to have that interaction where they can look at lectures from any part of the room, ask questions, and have meaningful discussions. As you can see, I'm an avatar in front of you. It's any day better than Zoom lectures. And you're an avatar in front of me, and we can really look into each other's eyes and have a conversation, which I think is a game changer.
And the other thing, of course, is having 3D objects in that virtual space. We can all interact with, add images, for example, PDF files, and also be able to annotate those diagrams, to point to things, and having a global classroom in the virtual world, I guess.
Exactly, and as you probably saw with Michael, they already have these 3D models in pathology labs that can easily be translated into the Metaversity to teach students anatomy with 3D models. You're absolutely right.
Great. What's next for us?
So next up, we'll go into the main lecture hall, which is our larger lecture hall catered towards universities that want to run courses. So let's go over there.
Great.
So Shafi, as you can see, this is our larger lecture hall with a really futuristic design here. Again, it's similar to a very traditional lecture hall catered towards universities wanting to run courses with professors. And it's just a great space where students can really feel like they're in the classroom, which is what we're really trying to simulate here at Metaversity.
Great, let's have a look around. Let me look at the big space here. And the idea is then to get many students from around the world here and teach them in a kind of a lecture theatre environment they understand, but at the same time being virtual. I do see this as being an advance to what's on offer at the moment with the face-to-face or online platforms. And this is just another modality or platform we can use for global education.
Mm-hmm. And Shafi, as you can see, there's something interesting on the lecture screen above. Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, let's just go a bit closer and have a look at this. Okay, as you can see, if you look up to the screen, so what I've done, and this is the first time this has been announced at the Knowledge Summit in Dubai, I'm going to be launching my book, which is all about the metaverse and virtual reality and augmented reality and mixed reality, holograms and avatars, and my experiences over the last decade at the forefront of these technologies. And this is a book called Virtual, and we're releasing it as an NFT. It's probably the world's first NFT book based on the immersive technology. As you can see, it'll be launched on the 3rd of March 2022, and we're going to be then hopefully opening up to anybody around the world to be able to buy the book through our NFT platform, which is on the metaverse.org/NFT. So we'll send you a link later. I'd love you to have a look at it. The unveiling will be a beautiful image created by a digital artist from Canada, and we haven't shown that yet. This is the blurred image. Hopefully you'll see the real image at some point when it's unveiled, including a podcast, an audio book, as well as the making of the image and the book itself, which would be a run through from my experience, both clinically and personally, on that voyage around being a virtual surgeon.
No, we're really excited at Metaversity to launch your first NFT book, and it's really, really impressive. Just a quick connection, we will be releasing the book on the 30th of March 2022. And actually, you're right, the artist is from Canada and goes by a pseudonym, C144. And it'll be interesting to see what this artist has to say about your art piece and how it really relates to the virtual. The art piece is available on OpenSea and the AI Metis NFT marketplace. You can always go to our website, and at the bottom you can check out and sign up if you'd like more information and early access to it. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, of course. And we can also buy it from inside the metaverse. Or you can buy a book from our marketplace in the metaverse. That'll be the first time we're going to be doing these kind of transactions. And maybe this is going to be a look into the future. We're buying goods, buying health services, buying access to medical professionals, for example. The world is going to change by having your digital world merged into the physical, and actually having physical goods actually plays in the digital world. It's going to be an amazing experience.
Speaking of merging digital world and the physical world, I think it's now about time for you to go back on stage, go back to the physical world and continue your talk at the Knowledge Summit.
Thank you so much for showing us around. So as you see, the audience at the Knowledge Summit in Dubai, we've shown you something really at the forefront of technology and innovation. We've shown you the buildings of the healthcare city in the metaverse, or the healthcare world in the metaverse, as well as the Metaversity, the notion that we can connect people using digital technologies, so the physical presence is inspired by the digital presence. So let's now come back on stage live, enter the physical world again, and finish my talk live here in Dubai.
It was a pleasure having you, Professor Shafi, and hopefully I'll see you again in the metaverse soon.
See you soon, Andy. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye.
So we're back from that digital interface back to the physical world. The seamless approach to thinking about how we connect people around the world by using simple connectivity and a simple head device. So I hope that showed you the application and the endless possibilities of what we might achieve as we go forward. Of course, it seems like crazy spending your time in a headset and connecting with people, but there I connected with someone from Canada, but also from the Netherlands in real time. So again, think about collaboration that we're going to be using as an adjunct to the online platforms, which don't allow the interactivity in real life. So the other thing to think about is where we are at the moment. We're living in amazing times, everybody, okay? I know it's just coming out of the pandemic, it's been miserable for everybody. At the same time, the opportunities of these technologies that are coalescing and converging to create the society of tomorrow, whether it's AR and VR, immersive tech, whether it's cloud computing, mobile computing, 5G networks, nanobiotechnology, AI and deep machine learning. We can go endlessly on. These weren't literally available a decade ago. Now we're talking of them and how we're going to use them together to recreate society. So this is really important to understand about the convergence of this. What's Web 3.0? Let's go through that very slowly. Web 1.0 was when Sir Tim Berners-Lee brought out the World Wide Web. It was about looking on the internet, looking at text, some images, maybe some early e-commerce. Web 2.0 is what we're living today. Social media, commerce, connecting people through various platforms, sharing knowledge. Web 3.0 is a complete disruptor, and it will be, of course, decentralized. So what does that mean as we go on? These are terminologies that will become commonplace in due course. It's decentralized. At the moment, it's connected, it's controlled by large corporations, the entire internet. We will now control it ourselves. It will be based on trust, the blockchain, to ensure that we're compliant, we can trust the data becomes secure. And it's really important, of course, in healthcare, where we've got patient data involved. And maybe the way to finally monetize or use patient data is on the blockchain through NFTs. NFTs is another part of this program, non-fungible tokens. We also talk about the semantic web, use of avatars and holograms that we've seen at the moment. And of course, we have to be connected around the world. So if we talk about some of those ideas and what that might mean for the future, let's talk about, first of all, what extended reality is. A lot of people are confused. On the one hand, you've got augmented reality. That's wearing smart glasses. We can see a heads-up display, like a car. That's AR. VR is like a headset there, completely immersed in the virtual world. Mixed reality is a bit of both combined. If you add avatars and holograms, all those combined are called extended reality. I hope that makes sense to you in terms of the terminology that we use in this space. Let's go back. Where did the term metaverse arise from? Let's go back to 1992. Neil Stephenson wrote the book Snow Crash. In it, he described a dystopian reality where big corporations were more powerful than federal governments. This was 1992, before the birth of the real internet. He also described how people are uninspired by their surroundings. So he talked about going to a metaverse, creating an avatar, getting away from reality, escaping from reality, from that dystopian reality into a new reality, to escape the problems we have currently. So Snow Crash first depicted the concept of the metaverse. And now, of course, recently, I'm sure you've all enjoyed these wonderful films, Ready Player One or Free Guy, talk about that interface of gaming as well as interacting with your non-self or indeed your avatar hologram. If you haven't seen them, you should go and watch them. It'll open up your minds and challenge you about what's real and what's not real and how that combines together to form this sense of purpose now in this space of extended reality. I spend a lot of my time talking about connectivity, connecting minds across the world. And I did a TED talk a while ago. It was about connecting 1 billion minds, expanding horizons, sharing knowledge on a global level. 5G, of course, for me, I call it the covalent bond to hold everything together. The Internet of Things, the Internet of Medical Things, XR, all the stuff that we need to make work that require higher bandwidth in terms of the amount of memory required. 5G enables some of these ideas now to become more purposeful and to be used currently. I work as the ambassador for Vodafone across the UK and Europe around 5G and connected health. And we've built drones that delivered COVID supplies across Scotland. We've built XR technology to do remote surgery across continents based on 5G technology. So think about connectivity and how that might be used in the future. These are the kind of things that we're thinking of in healthcare. Connected ambulances, robotics, controlling things remotely, remote surgery, telementoring, teleproctoring. So the possibilities of with 5G, of course, you can download speeds of 1 or 2 or 3 gigabytes per second and a latency of 0.1 millisecond, imperceptible to human mind. It's almost in real time. So that's why it's so powerful. The reason why we're thinking about some of these ideas on a global level. As a clinician, as a surgeon, what could that look like for me? So my life as a clinician might change, as you've seen from what's described. The next thing is about creating ourselves, redesigning, perhaps creating digital humans of ourselves, whether it's an avatar, hologram, or real-life impersonation of you. This is my digital human, created by a process called photogrammetry. All of us soon will be creating our digital selves to implant, insert into the metaverse or for remote work. So it can speak like us, talk like us, based on AI and deep machine learning, so it can converse. And perhaps might even have empathy, might have human emotions. Who knows where that reality might take us. This is my avatar during the pandemic, teaching people remotely.
Hey, Dr. Ahmed, good to see you again.
Hey, Harrison, so good to see you. Where are you?
I'm in New York. How about you?
I'm in London, so good to see you. I think we've got Ian here as well, haven't we? Hi, Ian.
Hey guys, I'm in downtown Atlanta right now. Thanks for joining me. I forgot my magic leap, but I've got my phone handy, so joining you through here.
Thanks for joining us. Should we have a look at some images to help us in this regard? Let's try. I'm just going to pull up an image of the virus itself, just to show what it looks like. So we use this for our students whilst we were thinking about more remote learning. What about if we create holograms? Outside my apartment in Stratford, East London, they're creating a new venue, a conference, where ABBA, the band ABBA, will be playing music as their avatars in real life, as their concerts. They're not called avatars, they're called avatars. That's the thing that they're trying to design. In the future, you might go to a concert without real human beings, recreating people to create music and dance. It might be you be next to somebody who may not be real, of course. This is my hologram.
Shafi, have a look at this.
Yeah, let me have a look over your shoulder. Oh yeah, I see what's going on there. I think I can give some advice, Carl.
Imagine a surgeon. You're in a remote part of the world. You need some help. Perhaps you could now, from Dubai, appear behind them or support them. Perhaps even do real-time telementoring or proctoring. We talked about connectivity. What about the data perspective? We know that people are worried and concerned about patient data, student data. Well, actually, there's a new marketplace being built based around cryptocurrency, the blockchain, and what's called NFTs, which are difficult to explain to a lot of people. The new economy might be the way we manage healthcare in the future, might be able to share in data and being trusted with that data.
Welcome to IMEDA's Data Exchange, the world's first medical and scientific NFT marketplace. IMEDA's Data Exchange, secure and immutable data NFTs monetize and finally mainstream and standardize the multi-trillion-dollar market of medical and scientific data all over the world. Data is the gold of the 21st century. Actually, 30% of all data is health data, and healthcare institutions and companies sit on a treasure of unimaginable value. Up to now, data had to be collected in time-wasting and expensive processes. Entire companies and a large amount of data scientists needed months to collect certain data, while still the quality and reliability were unsafe. IMEDA's Data Exchange creates a completely new market and opens the world's medical and scientific data with one click to and from hospitals, researchers, pharma, AI companies, space agencies, and the self-driving car industry. IMEDA's NFTs contain medical, pharmaceutical, research, and socioeconomic data, and can serve as a deed of ownership for space and items in IMEDA's Health City, the world's first healthcare metaverse. Researchers, pharma, CRO, space agencies, car manufacturers, universities, and governments can buy and sell data directly, while the same parties can fund R&D through IMEDA's NFTs. Data providers and anyone participating in the process earn a fixed percentage of the data sold each time the NFT is used and/or sold. Each NFT is flawlessly traceable while always keeping the data provider's anonymity at any time. Each NFT is encrypted so that only the data buyer can access the information while guaranteeing the data's authenticity. The IMEDA's token makes it easier and cheaper to buy and sell data NFTs while offering advantages to institutional AMIX token holders. Trade, rent, and buy items in space in IMEDA's Health City through IMEDA's NFTs. Flawless integration into IMEDA's Health City, the world's first medical metaverse.
However, with this data comes risk. People worried about how do we manage it? What about if data gets in the wrong hands? What if it's corrupt? We've seen examples of people taking cryptocurrency, for example, on a blockchain, which was thought to be impossible. So XRSI, which is a safety agency or initiative from the US, I think about how do we create that society with privacy at its core and safety to ensure we comply to rules and regulations, to ensure that we're not sharing data inappropriately. And they have got some documents and working with them in round how do we create this new world, but at the same time ensuring there's less risk for people that might want to contribute to that metaverse and be part of it. Last few slides is about the whole world of virtual reality, and this is kind of not new. It's been around for a long while, with the newer headsets coming out that are more sleek, smaller, with 6 degrees of freedom of movement, both eye tracking, hand movement, etc., in terms of the space that we're in. In 2016, I did the world's first VR operation. I transmitted a live operation across the world using a VR headset. That was watched by 55,000 people in 140 countries, actually being in my operating theatre at the same time using just a Google Cardboard and a smartphone and an app. So democratizing education on a global level, but using technology that's exponential, but makes kind of sense to scale very quickly.
This 360 camera rig allows immersion. People around the world using a low-cost technology, a simple VR headset, can actually immerse themselves in operating theatre around the world.
So as we move on, we're seeing technologies like VR coming in to revolutionize medical training, so you can immerse yourselves, learn, do practical procedures, simulation, etc. in that virtual space. This is my company, Medical Realities, who are trying to create new ways of learning in this space. Imagine this for other disciplines apart from medicine. It's really pushing the boundaries of what education is there for and how we can use this new hybrid model of learning platforms. We went around the world in various countries recording operations from Sierra Leone to Rwanda to the US to Italy to India to Bangladesh to record operations from different experts so that everyone could understand the equality across the globe. Patient education. Patients will enjoy experiences to resemble clinical work and practice. What about exams? Could we do exams in the virtual reality? Maybe we could take away examiners entirely and actually do exams completely with AI technology in that virtual space. Then we talk about remote collaboration. Now we're working on platforms that allow you to collaborate remotely, as we've just seen, looking at anatomy, physiology, clinical sciences. So you can now join and connect people in that virtual world. And that's the level of interactivity we get. But it does have a scientific basis. This is work done by PwC, by my colleagues, who showed the advantages of VR training. It's more efficient, much faster, better quality, higher retention facts. So actually, some of this learning, particularly language learning, teaching a language in VR, people do much better because you're interacting with the other person. Look at mixed reality very quickly. We're looking at these kind of technologies now, where, for example, in the operating theatre, in real time, we can navigate through an operation using MRI, CT scans, overlaying information in AR and mixed reality to support the surgeon to be more precise, to be able to navigate successfully, and perhaps even take a cancer out with good margins. Haptics are coming in. We know, of course, we need haptics. Sorry, go back 1 second. Haptics, the feel, the touch. That will often arise very quickly in that metaverse. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Sorry, thank you. So haptics is coming in, and we'll also see how we can use haptics and the touch within the VR space. At Barcelona Medical School, where I'm Associate Dean, I taught my students the metaverse. I'm now teaching them regularly in that environment in the future. This was me during the pandemic, using HoloLens to teach my students remotely on a clinical ward round.
What's happened is that sometimes with this staple line by the pancreas, you get leaking of fluid, the pancreatic fluid, and that's what you're seeing on the drain. And the drain helps.
Last couple of slides. So we saw earlier, I've been spending a decade thinking about technologies, innovation, immersive tech. This is my book. It's called Virtual, and I'm releasing as an NFT, one of the very first books as an NFT in the world in terms of immersive tech. So you can't buy it online. You have to go to that Scan Me document. If you scan that, take it to our website, then it'll be an auction in March. 5 copies of my experiences and knowledge for 10 years in the space. But I want to push the boundaries. I don't want a paper copy. I want something different. If it's virtual, let's do an NFT. Let's see what the market's like. In the future, you'll be buying NFT paintings, NFT books. It's going to be a marketplace. And data, of course, for patients. So if you're interested in seeing my work for 10 years, my personal story and journey, you'll see it on that virtual space. So please do scan it and join me. If you want a copy, please get in touch through the website. And you'll be one of only 5 people to have the world's first NFT book out on the market. Dubai is amazing. I've been here so many times, and I was really lucky to be at the Museum of the Future yesterday. I took this picture from one of the views from Museum of the Future. If you haven't been, you should go. It's truly amazing. Dubai is the future. It really supports people thinking with big ideas, bringing new concepts to this Middle East. And you know what? I looked at that, I thought, you know what? The metaverse, the technology, the innovation we describe lends itself well to a place like Dubai. Hopefully we can work together. Please reach out to me if you want to think about that future. We're happy to collaborate with people, universities, colleges, medical schools, and hospitals to build the metaverse together and also to teach our students in the Metaversity. Thank you very much.